WNBA finals. And so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments. And so all I'll say is just, it's obviously.
It was meant to be the only day of the year that there would be no more noise. Christmas morning in 2025, especially for Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and the WNBA front office. A much-needed break was provided by the holiday. The league leadership needed a break after a season marked by unparalleled scandal, racial conflict, and locker room infighting in addition to record-breaking viewership. They needed the news cycle to be on something other than the internal politics of women's basketball, like the NFL or the NBA Christmas games. However, that peace was shattered when a notification was sent out at precisely 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, while families were opening presents and the sports world was still awakening. It wasn't a league news release. The WNBA's official account did not feature a highlight reel. It was a tweet from Nike that included a 30-second video that would undermine the commissioner's authority more than any controversy we've ever seen. During the past 10 years, the From Anywhere commercial, which starred Caitlin Clark, went viral. According to reports, it caused complete panic-induced wrath inside the WNBA offices. You have to look beyond the basketball to see how a straightforward sneaker commercial could elicit such an emotional response from the top levels of the league. The power dynamics that have been changing underfoot for the past 2 years must be examined. The WNBA has operated on a very particular philosophy, the collective, for many years. The shield is the brand. The 144, which stands for every player is equal, every story matters, and no single athlete is bigger than the organization, is promoted by the league. Commissioner Engelbert has promoted a socialist approach to sports marketing as a means of shielding the league from unpredictability. However, the high-budget photography, A-list celebrity cameos from Travis Scott and the Kelsey brothers, and a swagger that seemed more like a movie trailer than a sports advertisement were all present when that video debuted on Christmas morning. That philosophy required a sledgehammer. It made a clear and loud announcement that there was number 144. After Caitlin Clark, there are all the others. Furthermore, witnessing one player become a legendary figure without the league's consent or oversight was a direct threat to the authority of a commissioner who has built her reputation on overseeing the league's ecosystem. According to reports, league execs were on the phone all Christmas Day discussing the specifics of the advertisement. This was not a montage of video from WNBA games. The WNBA logo is actually hardly noticeable, if at all, if you look attentively. Clark's personal brand is the sole focus of the advertisement. It depicts her on a driveway in the snow, surrounded by the current cultural icons. Sinking shots from unattainable distances. It was an obvious message. The world asks, "Can you make it from here?" "From anywhere," she responds. It presents her as a cultural phenomenon that goes beyond basketball rather than as a player. According to insiders, Engelbert thought this was a renegade operation. To make sure that marketing materials promote the WNBA brand, the league typically collaborates with partners like Nike. However, Nike was showing off by telling the WNBA that they don't require the league in order to sell shoes. All they need is Caitlin. For a commissioner, it's a horrifying reality. The knowledge that your biggest star has outgrown her league. And the corporate sponsors are aware of it. However, the timing of this release adds an unavoidable degree of malice to the issue. We must discuss the unparalleled league in order to completely understand the fury in the front office. A few weeks prior to the release of this Nike advertisement, Breanna Stewart and Nafi Sakir's new 3-and-re league was the talk of the basketball world. This was meant to be the WNBA solution to the issue of the off-season. It was an equity-based league created by the players for the players with the goal of retaining talent in the U.S. and making money for the long-serving veterans. The commissioner has openly backed this effort, considering it an essential component of the WNBA's expansion plan. To get Caitlin Clark to join, they threw everything at her. According to leaked reports, they made her an unprecedented offer of over $1 million for a few weeks of work, much more than her WNBA pay. The offer was akin to that of Lionel Messi. What action did Clark take? No, she replied. She turned down the cash. She refused to be exposed. She made the decision to take a break, play golf, and avoid the limelight. Or so they believed. It seems like a calculated move to debut the From Anywhere commercial on Christmas Day, just as the professional league was attempting to gain momentum for its January tip-off. The elder guard of the WNBA claimed that Clark was losing out when she declined the unparalleled offer. They implied that she was causing the progression of the game by abstaining. However, this advertisement quickly changed the course of events. The story is told via the view numbers. Clark's 30-second advertisement received 6 times as many views in a day as the unrivaled roster launch and reveal campaign put together. The establishment was publicly humiliated. It demonstrated that Clark could remain important without the unparalleled league. She was essential to the unparalleled league. It was disastrous for Commissioner Engelbert to see a shoe commercial overshadow her off-season strategy. It reaffirmed the notion that the supporters aren't devoted to the idea of women's basketball. They are devoted to the Caitlin Clark program. This awareness deprives the commissioner of her leverage, making her work immensely more difficult. When a player has the keys to the entire kingdom, how do you control or discipline them? This leads us to the financial humiliation this advertisement reveals. Making the league appear affluent, aspirational, and professional is one of the commissioner's main responsibilities. Business is Cathy Engelbert's background. D'Haute was run by her. She is numerate. These figures are also dehumanizing. When you see Caitlin Clark interacting with NFL players and multimillionaire rappers while sporting custom gear in a commercial that appears to have cost $5 million to produce, it stands in stark contrast to the WNBA's reality. That 30-second clip had a higher production value than the majority of WNBA broadcasts. Every viewer is reminded that while Clark is earning millions from Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm, the league she actually plays for offers her a rookie salary that, to be honest, wouldn't cover the cost of the catering for that commercial shoot. For Engelbert, this is a PR nightmare. She is currently attempting to promote the idea that the WNBA is a significant league while negotiating future collective bargaining agreements. However, this advertisement always shouts the opposite when it plays during an NBA or NFL playoff game. It makes it quite clear that the main money is not in the league. It gives the Players Association the ability to remark, "Look at that," while pointing at the screen. Take a look at the value she is producing. Why are we squabbling over scraps? The league appears cheap as a result. The leadership appears inept for failing to take advantage of this benefit sooner. There are rumors that team owners are phoning Engelbert to inquire about why they aren't profiting from this marketing boom. There's more to the anger than just jealousy. It has to do with business. Nike is laughing all the way to the bank while the WNBA is excluded from the profit loop of its own greatest asset. The commissioner's fear is probably at its worst in the locker rooms, where the most harmful consequences of this commercial are occurring. The A.A. Wilson factor must be discussed. A.A. Wilson is currently the greatest player in the world by all conventional standards, a champion, and a 3-time MVP. She has an agreement with Nike as well. She recently had a commercial released as well. However, the internet is a harsh place, and as soon as Clark's advertisement appeared, side-by-side comparisons began to fly. Analysts and fans noticed the disparity in quality right away. Clark's advertisement was expensive, gloomy, and cinematic. Wilson's advertisement was criticized for being aesthetically flat, uncomplicated, and low effort. Online, the story began to take shape immediately. Nike is undermining AA in order to support Caitlin. The commissioner doesn't care if that is accurate or not. The perception is what counts. The two biggest stars in the league and their respective teams are severely strained as a result of this commercial. Regardless of how hard they work or how many rings they earn, it supports the conspiracy claims of many seasoned players that the corporate system is biased against them. For the past 2 years, Engelbert has worked to put out fires related to player behavior, hard fouls, and Caitlin Clark's targeting. This advertisement simply doused those fires with a tanker of gasoline. How does Aho Wilson not feel betrayed? When a rookie receives the Michael Jordan treatment, how can the other veterans not feel disrespected? The generic medication. Resentment is bred by this. It makes you angry. And on the court, that rage shows up. The commissioner is aware that the product on the floor will suffer if the 2026 season devolves into a retribution tour where veterans target Clark because they believe Nike has humiliated them. Basketball becomes a drama series as a result. It puts you at danger for harm. Scandals could result from it. All of this eventually rests on the commissioner's desk. The cameo power play in this commercial, which was a clear jab at the WNBA's past, must also be discussed. Honoring the past has been the technique used in nearly every significant WNBA marketing effort over the last 10 years. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, and the lineage are all brought in. It's a way to honor the women who founded the league. However, those legends were noticeably missing from anywhere. The torch was not passed. The founders were not acknowledged. Rather, it was men who validated Clark. Travis Scott is a world-renowned hip-hop artist. The contemporary titans of sports journalism are Jason and Travis Kelce. Michael Che from Saturday Night Live. Nike made the conscious decision to place Clark outside of the WNBA timeframe. She isn't just the next WNBA player, they are telling the crowd. Alongside the world's largest male celebrities, she is a pop culture icon. This is the ultimate insult to the gatekeepers of women's basketball, the Cheryl Swoops of the world who have criticized Clark's fan base. "We don't need your validation," it states. Travis Scott has confirmed this for us. It avoids the league's hierarchy entirely. Commissioner Engelbert is aware of the risks involved. The veterans must support her. She needs the league's support from the alumni. However, marketing the league's image as distinct from its past alienates the fundamental basis upon which the WNBA is built. Between the young followers who are just interested in Clark and the older fans who are interested in the past, it fosters a climate of civil conflict. Additionally, the commissioner is positioned in the middle and is under attack from both sides. Additionally, in order to comprehend the intimate nature of this dispute, we must review the Lucky Stars controversy. In October 2025, there were rumors of a heated meeting in which Commissioner Engelbert allegedly instructed players to thank their lucky stars on their knees for the media rights contract she had negotiated. She attempted to retract such remarks, but the harm had already been done. She was portrayed as an executive who believed the players owed her appreciation. It served as a reminder of who signs the checks and was a power play. The best response to such statement is this Nike commercial. Without uttering a word, Caitlin Clark tells the commissioner, "I don't need to thank my lucky stars. The star is me." It proves that her worth is inherent. She attracts attention. The sponsors are brought by her. The money comes from her. The commissioner's authority is essentially undermined by the commercial. When Nike pays Clark $28 million annually, how can Engelbert encourage her to be thankful for a league that pays her $76,000? There is a problem with the math. The balance of power has changed. The league is now the employee and the player is the employer. Engelbert is an intelligent woman. She is aware that the league loses control when a player understands they are greater than the league's governance. With LeBron James, we witnessed it in the NBA. However, the income disparity between Clark and her peers is so much greater that this is much more dramatic. This advertisement also alludes to an impending danger. WNBA owners are kept up at night by this threat. The separation. The long-standing query, is Caitlin Clark good enough for the WNBA, has been addressed. This advertisement's sheer size raises a new query. Is the WNBA big enough for Caitlin Clark? The global aim that the WNBA is presently unable to fulfill is suggested by the images, the global messaging, and the "From Anywhere" tagline. The commissioner is aware of how dangerous the present CBA is. What prevents Clark from founding her own league if the players choose to leave and the league is unable to provide her with a salary package commensurate with her worth? What would prevent Nike and Amazon from organizing a world tour featuring Caitlin Clark that would surpass the WNBA in popularity? This commercial demonstrates that there is money, even though it sounds absurd. Nike is prepared to invest in any car that yields the highest return if they are prepared to spend this much money on a 30-second place. Caitlin Clark, not the Indiana Fever or the WNBA as a whole, is currently that vehicle. This advertisement serves as a warning. It states, "We built this star and we can take her anywhere." At reality, the anger at the commissioner's office is dread. The dread of being outdated. The worry that Clark will only use the WNBA as a springboard and not as a final destination. Let's examine the worldwide fraud that also created a stir in more detail. The phrase, "from anywhere," in the advertisement suggests a worldwide audience. It displays snow. Distance is implied. It talks to everyone. However, Nike failed to release the related items abroad, which was an ironic turn of events that the internet seized upon right away. In the comment section, fans from China, Brazil, France, and Spain demanded to know why they were unable to purchase the shoes. This is a blowback on the WNBA, even though it is technically a Nike logistical failure. Commissioner Engelbert has been discussing international expansion constantly. She desires a Toronto team. In London, she wishes to play games. However, the WNBA's image suffers when the largest marketing campaign in the sport's history alienates foreign fans by treating them like ghosts. The idea that the league is amateur hour is strengthened by this. Unable to plan a worldwide launch for a worldwide star. This is yet another example of the talent being let down by the infrastructure. Since she represents the company and it currently appears disorganized, Engelbert bears the brunt of the criticism. The psychological effects on the next season must also be taken into account. Elev has successfully drawn a boundary for the 2026 season with this commercial.